Well, it's been a month since I recorded a podcast. I kind of failed on that weekly thing. I kind of forgot how to do it. This is why I need to stay on schedule and actually do one each week, because I think it'll help me improve more quickly. Today, I thought I would talk about an interesting place called the internet and the people on it. This is not at all related to herps. If that's what you're interested in today, then goodbye. But if you do care about that at all, then that's what we're doing. It's 1 p.m. This is the earliest I've ever recorded, but I'm in my most tired state. I tend to be most tired in the middle of the day. I don't know why. I'll wake up and then be super tired, and then I'll be energetic by 6 p.m., and then I'm good to start my day. So I might sound even more dead than usual, which would be a skill for me. Anyway, I have, I guess, a long history with the internet. I'm not that old. I don't remember not having internet because I always did. But regardless of that, I signed up to Google Plus in, I think, 2012. And Google Plus was my favorite social media ever. Honestly, it probably still is, although I haven't used it in 2 years. Or maybe, I don't know, a year. Which everybody hates on it because it kind of ruined YouTube with how they integrated it, and I get that. But it was really cool because they had very unique communities, which they were literally called communities. I know Facebook has their Facebook groups, but that's not at all personal. You don't really meet people there. At least I haven't. I still don't like Facebook groups. I have one, though, if you want to join mine. I was convinced to make one. But Google Plus was just such a nice place. It was so I was 12 or 13 at the time. What was I into? That's when I started GoHerping. I was under a different name, and all I did was Minecraft. That was it. I bought Minecraft in, I think, 2013. And so I started joining a bunch of gaming communities and Minecraft communities and servers and stuff. And I would kind of just play on the servers by myself or play single player or whatever. So I figured I'd actually seek out some people to play with. So I think I made a post I think it was just called Minecraft. That was just the name of the community. I was like, hey, does anyone want to play Hunger Games with me on Minecade or whatever server it was? I can't remember. And then this one guy responded. It was, oh wait, no, that was a different one. I made a post somewhere, and someone's username BoomSlapperD2. He was my first ever person that I would consider an online friend, and that was, I think, 2013. I was 13, he was maybe a year younger, so he might have been 12, and I don't actually remember that very much. Sorry, BoomSlapper, but we played Super Craft Bros. You don't care about the Minecraft details, I'm sorry. But I started back when I had a gaming channel, which is still up. You might be able to find it. Actually, those videos are still up from when we played if you want to look for those. But that was really fun because I had never actually met someone on the internet and then stayed in touch with them. So it was super weird. And then I started making more friends and meeting more people, all of which I met through Minecraft. But they were kind of closer than any other friends I'd ever had up until that point. So this was in middle school. I guess I was in 6th grade or 5th grade or something, which I had a couple friends at, quote, real school or, quote, IRL or in real life. But it was there were only, in my grade, there were 70-something people, maybe up to 100 people for me to, quote, pick from to become a friend with. But on the internet, you've got literally millions of people there. So I connected much better with people that I met through those communities compared to someone that was just in my class. So at that point, I pretty much got off not all human interaction, of course. I was still doing plenty of stuff in person, but I really kind of took the majority of my social focus away from real life. Not real life. It was real life. It was just digital. I knew they were real people. And at first, I didn't know them super well. I didn't trust them with my personal information, which it's something that really irritates me is how it has such bad connotations with it. Because I was a little bit nervous at first too. It was these people, who should we take as an example? Well, okay, so my second online friend, oh God, what if they're listening to this? I highly doubt they are. I still, like, occasionally talk to them. This is going to be really awkward if they are listening. But, Rocky, who happened to live in the same state as me, we've still never met. I guess we don't have a reason to anymore. But, I also met him through a Minecraft community. And I guess he was the first person who I actually could trust more. And I felt like I really knew on a personal level. So, like, I knew eventually, after a couple years maybe, literally where he lived and like, his personal life and everything, and vice versa with me. It's not like some immediate thing. You don't just meet someone online and then give them all your personal details the second you meet them. But basically, this isn't even to the weird people yet. I got a very nice, close group of people there, and that was when I realized that how much I love the internet and how I'll probably live on the internet forever, and I have been ever since. It sounds, I don't know, it sounds kind of bad, but I always enjoyed it. I don't regret any of that. It was super fun. I built up an entire Minecraft server and community just around with those friends. We tried to launch a business or two. This didn't really work. We were like 14 trying to make a business, or not 14, like 15, trying to do that. But that's that. Was there anything else I was going to talk about with that specifically? Well, to put it in perspective, you would see me at school during lunch, during class, during breaks, whatever. I was just constantly on whatever device I had access to. It was either like a laptop or an iPad. You weren't allowed to use your phone in most grades, but at whatever I could access, I was never talking to people at school. I was on Skype, chatting with people. At school, I could only do text, but out of school, I would do voice and video and group calls, group messages, group chats, and everything. But I would just spend all of my free time talking to all these other people that were doing the same thing, just with whatever device they could, hop on Skype, get in our groups, and chat all day so that we weren't bored and lonely and depressed. Well, I probably got a little bit depressed when the school blocked Skype. Why would you do that? That was like my only safe haven back in middle school. Middle school was the worst time of my life. You didn't realize that by now. But that was my social interaction throughout the day. I kind of hated everyone in my grade and hated a lot of everyone. I hated a lot of the teachers, it wasn't a good time. My point is to just put it all in perspective. That's how I spent my day and how I spent my time. I'd get home after school, be like, hey, I'm home, wait for them to get home, hop on a chat, work on a Minecraft server, play a game, talk about whatever, share our day, and do our thing. It was great, though. It's much more, like, had I existed 20 years before when I couldn't do that, I would have been super sad throughout my, like, entire school career. I was still a little bit sad throughout the entire career. But it would have been much worse. I would have really been hating life had I not had access to them. Well, basically, my point is that online friends are actually cool, and you should get some if you don't have any. Safely, of course. Which even, let's see. But I don't know, I'll probably rant about this a little more because there's so many perks to it. For example, we've all moved around the country or the world, and literally nothing changes because we never knew each other in person in the first place. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm moving 3 states over, and then I'm like, oh cool, that'll be fun, keep me updated. And then instead of having to say our goodbyes and being all sad, we kind of just go through them with the process and like, oh cool, now you're in a different place. The only difference is maybe you're like an hour behind me. So yeah, that was really great. I still tend to meet basically everyone through the internet. So I think that's something that'll become even more normal as time moves on. I think it's mostly just the baby boomers generation that looks down upon it. But I guess we can get into some of the weird people that I ended up meeting online because that's kind of inevitable. Just don't give your personal information away, and like it's okay to stay a little anonymous at first. I don't know if I can say that. I kind of became pretty unanonymous. Like, actually, I forgot about that. We would literally send gifts to people that we knew. Like, I sent a couple birthday gifts to friends that lived across the country. I just mailed them to them. We sent pizza to one person's house for his birthday. Like, just fun stuff. So then it feels even more personal. Which, the other thing I was going to say is I remember like the realization I had with his username was, I won't say his old username. He's gonna be really annoyed if he's also listening. God, I hope he's not listening, because that's weird because I'm talking about him. But I called him Seba. His name was Sebastian, and he was a few years younger than me, and we built up a Minecraft server together for years. And he was probably my closest friend for like a solid year or two, maybe. But we made the realization as to just how, I guess, powerful the online community and online friends can be when I was talking about my favorite candies. I don't know why I remember this. And I was like, oh yeah, Pocky is the greatest candy ever. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I can't remember what we were actually talking about. And then he had to go to the grocery store with his mom, and he came home with Pocky. And then we just hopped back on Skype, which Skype was like the quality service back then, but now Discord beat them out. But he came back and he was like, wait, you just influenced my life by affecting what I purchased. And it was like, whoa, this person that I met on Google Plus was influenced by me. That's so weird. It's like, it's the smallest little thing. Literally, I influenced him to buy like a $2 pack of Pocky, but we didn't know each other very long at that point. So it was really weird to realize. It was like the little realization point. I was like, oh yeah, the internet is the greatest thing ever. Okay, anyway, I'll probably remember other things. I keep putting it off. I have a very small list of some of the weird people that I ended up talking to, and these are my favorites. They're mostly entertaining. Only some were dangerous. So the first one, which one do we start with? Let's see. I can't remember what order this was actually in, like what year and stuff. But I'll just start with good old Madhu. I have no idea why I remember her name, but I also don't remember how she found me. Madhu was living in India. She was like 30-something years old. It's so weird. And she started messaging me, this 13-and-a-half-year-old, on Google Plus. And I was kind of, I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, okay, this person's talking to me. Might as well chat it up with them. So she was just like, oh, how are you? I can't even remember what we were talking about. But we were just talking about just like random awkward small talk for a couple hours. And then I had to go. So I was like, okay, well, this has been weird. I didn't say that. But I was like, okay, I'll see you later. And then she said, when? And then I realized that it's just because English wasn't her native language. So I think it just got lost in translation. Like, see you later literally meant see you at this time. So I was like, tomorrow morning, I guess. So for like weeks, I was chatting with this 30-something-year-old on Google Plus, living in India. And it was kind of weird. I mean, obviously, it's kind of weird to begin with already. She would like send pictures of herself, perfectly G-rated pictures, just like, hey, this is me and my friend hanging out at dinner. And this is me like at this cool place. And then she wanted me to send pictures back, and I was like, I'm good. Which I had plenty of pictures of myself on Google Plus. Like, my profile picture was little 13-year-old me holding a rat snake or something. Which I looked like 9. She probably thought I was younger. And it was pretty innocent stuff. I couldn't really tell what her motives were. If she literally just wanted an American friend, and she just came across a quote 9-year-old, or at least looked 9, on Google Plus. I'm trying to think what else she would talk about. Well, in the back of my mind, I always thought she was maybe a spy for India. In the back of my mind, I always thought that she could be like a spy for India, because she started telling us about the Indian government and like her president and stuff. And then she would start asking weird things about our president, which it was Obama at the time. And I was like, oh yeah, Obama's our president. And she asked like all these details about him, which I literally had no idea, because he's I don't like know our president personally. Maybe that's what she thought it was. Maybe it's like every American just knows the president like on a personal level. I don't know. She wanted weird details about the president. I can't actually remember what she was asking exactly, but unfortunately I couldn't give her many answers. So maybe she wanted to like assassinate the president or something, and she thought that innocent little me would be able to give her the details as to like how to get in there and do it up. But yeah, I knew her for like a couple months, just messaging her random things. And I'll talk about some snakes, and she was obviously, not obviously, but everyone's scared of snakes. So she was kind of scared of snakes, and it was weird, but pretty innocent. Speaking of India, my favorite next one is this Indian guy, which I'll mention why it's important that he's Indian in a minute. This is so hard to record. So this was also on Google Plus. I got added. Oh, this is gonna get me demonetized. I got added to this group chat. I have no idea why. It was like a dozen. No, it wasn't. It was less than that. It was like 8 people in it, but there were only 2 active users in it. This Indian dude who was probably like 30, and this random lady. And so it brings us to the quality. I don't know, it's kind of a dead meme, but the quality Send Bob meme. If you don't know that, it's basically foreign people that can't properly spell. And it's worse when I explain it. It just ruins it entirely. You probably get the idea. Send Bob. Just send pictures of Bob. And that's exactly what he was doing. It was like before that was a nice little quality meme. I was witnessing it firsthand. Keep in mind I was like 14 at this point. I don't think it's even like technically legal for me to have been in that group chat. But for months, this guy was trying to convince this poor woman to send Bob. And now my computer's making noises. And she was like super nice about it. I don't know why she was so nice about it and why she didn't just leave the voice chat, but she would just try and talk to this poor guy that wanted some nice pics. And she would just be like, oh, haha, no. But he was very eager. And I just couldn't leave it because it was so entertaining seeing this guy trying for days. Like constant messages like, hi, like sweetums. And he would send these selfies. I forgot about the selfies. He was just like this casual Indian dude chilling it up in India. Why are all these people I'm talking to Indian? I don't know. He'd have his dramatic black and white selfie with his earbuds in, and he'd be like, hey, how's your evening? As if it was some personal DM with this person he knew really well. But it was just this group chat that I just appeared in with 30 other people. Not 30 other people. Why did I say 30? Oh, because he's 30 years old. I keep saying the number 30. With like a dozen other people. I keep changing the number. I have no idea how many people it was. Like 8 other people. With me and him and this lady that won't send Bob. So there's really no end to that little story. It was basically just this poor guy. He never got the images. You know what? I bet I'm still in this chat. I still have them all. I'm just going to pull quick. You'll have to ignore my keyboard. It's probably unprofessional for a podcast to hear my keyboard clacking away, but I don't care. So those are the first 2 people. It was Madhu and Sin Bob guy. All right, let's do some scrolling. So many Minecraft people. Okay, who's this? I don't remember who that. Oh, I think I ignored him for like 2 solid years. He called me once, and I was like, I don't know who this is. And I ignored him for so long that it was just too late. I just had to keep ignoring him. Well, I can't find the Sin Bob chat. Hold on. Oh, no, I don't know who that is. You know what's weird is all of these people, I haven't talked to them in 5 years, but it says some of them are currently online. I should just send random messages. I might do that right now. Okay, I have no idea who this person is, but they were active 3 hours ago. I'm going to ask them, send a Bob. I'm having a reunion on with these random Google Plus people as we speak. These people are probably so old now. Wait, oh. He's gonna be like 18 now. He was like 12 then. That's so weird. They're all grown up. It's making me sad. They're such big boys. Anyway, the next one is pretty, I don't know, nothing super special, but I used to make these. This is all Google Plus. I used to make these Google Plus communities myself, where I would grow. Sorry, I thought the recording stopped. Where I would grow little communities of people. I had one for Adventure Time, one for Minecraft, one for my Minecraft server, one for reptiles. Actually, that's the group I met Ethan in, or Amazing Animal Adventures, and then one for photography. I made this one with 2 other people, one of which was this super annoying kid, and he was like, his family was a multi-millionaire family or whatever, and all he would ever talk about is all this stuff that he would buy with his like millions of dollars. And it was so annoying, but I was so nice that I just couldn't tell him to stop. I was like 13 or 14, so he was probably 11 or 12 or something. So he got a break. It could have been worse. He would like send his Rolex and pictures of it, and his suits and his house. And then he got all this camera gear, which at the time I had like a Sony DSLR, not worth very much, but it's what I learned to do everything with, how I learned to shoot manual and everything. So we were like, oh, you got a camera, let's make a community together. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Maybe it was his idea, because I would have avoided doing it. But he eventually made one, or we made one, and we were inviting people. And I was like, oh my god, why did I make a community with this kid? Which it takes a lot of work to run a community. Think of running a Discord server or a Facebook group. It's you have to work on it every day to keep it going and growing. But he would just not stop talking about all this stuff that he was buying with all this money. Speaking of Discord, if you're in the Discord server, this may remind you of a certain someone. We'll get to him in a few minutes. Now, I can't remember his name. What was his name? I have no idea. But then we made the community, and he started posting his images. I was like, oh my god. This is not a good representation of the community. Like, my photos weren't great. I was still learning. And getting my thing going, but I would actually focus on the images, and he was just focusing on this stupid camera gear that he bought for like $1,000 and doesn't know how to use. The images he was taking looked like he was mid-stroke while he shot them. It was just like this. I still remember this one image because it was just so bad. It was just an image of a palm tree. It looked like he was collapsing while taking it. It was bright out. It wasn't like he had some super long shutter or some ridiculous ISO. It was like, it was a bright day. He could have he could have gotten a nice picture of this palm tree, and it was just awful. I was so disappointed. I ended up blocking him. I blocked him, took the community, and kicked him out of it. Not because of his images. He was just so ridiculously rude and annoying, and that was fun. So I stole the community from him. I ended up, I think, just deleting it because it never went anywhere. The other person that I made the community with, he was actually good at photography and much better at me with Photoshop and everything. He also ran a Minecraft server. It always comes back to Minecraft. And then I met even more people through his server, but that's not related. I won't. It's just too much for this. How long has this been going? Also, they're not responding to my messages. Let me send a couple more. Let's see. Who else has been active? Active 6 months ago. Here's an old group chat with... Why is my aunt in that group chat? Oh, this is our old little Minecraft squad. Amazing. I'll send a message there too. We need one response from one of these people. I don't know who this is. When did we last talk? 2016? Who is that? Hi, I'm the owner of a Minecraft community you just applied to be a moderator on. That was 2016. I was still doing that in 2016? Wait, let me see if I got the job. I think I got it, but I never actually did anything in the community. I think it's because he took so long. Oh, I think that's what it was. It was like, I sent the application like a long time ago, and then it took him a while to respond. But I guess I'm a moderator there now. Good times. So, these have been pretty innocent stories, I guess. There are some genuinely dangerous people I've met, but I don't think it would be good. Why am I checking my email? I don't think it would be good for me to go into those. Hey, someone's typing. Oh, that's just Isaiah. Sorry, Isaiah, but I still talk to you, so you don't count. Isaiah, I also met him through Minecraft, but now he's like actually a good photographer and not building Minecraft servers. He's typing. He stopped typing. He's there. Come on, Isaiah. Follow him on Instagram what is his Instagram? I forgot. That's not what he said. I was just looking at his Instagram though. I'll link it below if you want to see it. Oh, he said sending Bob, and then he went offline. So that should be hot. We'll go back to that. Anyway, there are some really dangerous people I've met and communicated with. I don't think it would be good for me to go in detail with those, but it's proof that not everyone is going to be all wonderful. Luckily, he didn't know my personal information, or there's been a couple, but none of them did. So I was safe, but it was very sketchy. What can I say without it being bad? Because this involves other people. I guess to give you the scale of how some were, people literally had to delete their YouTube channels and stop making videos because of these people that were following them. But it's all contained now. Everybody's safe now. However, there were some other people, like there were adults I would talk to that were in like their 40s or 50s as a youngin', like between 12 and 14. And they were very nice. I think for the most part, the majority of them were simply into things that had younger followings. Ow! Franklin just bit my leg. For example, Minecraft. So the majority of them were fine, but some of them I realized now were a little bit creepy. Like I would see who they communicate with, and it was all a bunch of 12 to 14-year-olds. It was fine. Everything is fine. There's weird people. Well, the next thing, what else? So, what are other platforms I used to use? A big one was Vine. I was quite the Viner at age 13. Why are these all when I was 13? I think after I was 13, I realized all the dumb stuff I was doing. And then from then on, I actually made like quality online friend relationships and put my time in safe things. But I used to make these horrid vines. Some of you have seen them. I was considering releasing them. I have them all. It's a half an hour worth of vines. A vine is 6 seconds long. How many is that? Let's do some quick maths. That is 300 vines. I was going to be a Vine star. I had like 100 followers. It was great. But had those gotten out at the time like now, when you see all the lovely Vine cringe compilations of 9-year-olds just doing their thing, that would have like emotionally destroyed me. Seeing me in those, because now I've gotten used to internet quote trolls. It's not, I hate the word internet troll. It just sounds so dumb. You know, weird internet people that like to ruin your day. So I've gotten used to that over like the 4-year period. But that would have been awful had I like gotten exposed back in the day on Vine, especially since I was such a weeb, which I still like some quality anime. It was not good. It hurts me inside seeing those like relatable anime Vine compilations. And I also met weird people through that. Most of them were just big anime fans and otakus and everything. So that was fine, but Vine was a very odd place. I'm looking forward to Vine too. I am actually going to sign up to Vine too, though. It'll be interesting to see how it does, like, platform-wise for GoHerping. So look forward to that. So the next thing I was going to say was something that I forgot. Basically, overall, I'm sure I'm forgetting some like quality stories. I might have to come back with a part 2 at some point and just go through my entire Google Plus page. Oh no, I shouldn't say it. It's still up. If you look, you can find my personal Google Plus. I reached 700 followers, and I was ridiculously proud of that. Because at the time, when I had 700 followers there, I had like 30 YouTube subscribers on this channel. I had a lot of YouTube channels too. That's for a whole nother video on just every YouTube channel I've made. It just so happened that GoHerping is the one that got more popular. Because for a long time, I thought that this channel was just going to not do it and it would be a different channel. But I ditched all the other ones. Well, from there, I keep getting off topic. It's so hard to stay on topic with these. I've lots of cool people that I've met. Really, I think the main reason that I met the weirdest people when I was 13 is because that's when I made, like, my baseline friends. I'll say their names. Like, my friends at the time, it was Rocky, Isaiah, Sebastian. Those are, like, the main three. And then Boom Slapper, who I won't say his real name because I don't think he ever put it anywhere. Who else? Oh, there's so many more. Hold on. Here's some group chats. Sam, Griffin, quite a few. Those are the mains that I remember off the top of my head. Mostly because those are the ones that I've actually talked to in the past, like, year. But now it's really transitioned away from Minecraft people and more to herp people that I talk to the most. But, yeah, there's that. So I think, what I was saying is I think the reason that I met so many weird people is because I didn't have any, like, baseline people. So then when I met Rocky, for example, through Rocky I met Isaiah. Through Isaiah I met more people. Through those people I met more people. And then now through the herp community I can just kind of meet a lot of people. So I don't really have to organically find direct people. I can just find friends of friends and become friends with those friends. So it's fun. The moral of this is there's not really any moral. There's weird people on the internet. If you don't have any online friends, consider making some online friends because it's really fun and really valuable. If online friends scare you, I get it. There's weird people, but I mean, you meet strangers like in person too. Honestly, I feel like it's safer to meet strangers online. I don't want to I'm not responsible for the people that you meet, but usually it's much easier. But of course, people can't. Oh, I forgot one. I'll save that person for another time. The time I got catfish as a 12-year-old. Be safe on the interwebs, but it's a fun place, and you should take advantage of it. Okay, that's it. This is some of my online occurrences with my favorite people. Oh no, I forgot one. I forgot so many. This is the most unorganized thing I've ever recorded in my entire life. If you are keeping up with this, I'm thoroughly impressed. The last one I was going to talk about was Sammy. If you don't know Sammy, just join my Discord server, and you'll get to meet Sammy. Sammy's great. You're my favorite Sammy. Okay, that's it for this podcast. It's November 6th. It's February 6th, 2018. I shot this at 2 p.m. now. The earliest I've ever done. I don't know if it's better when I do them during the day or at night. But that's it. Okay. Send Bob.